All right, let's do a chicken video, chicken and garden video. I'm out here tilling the garden. I got a different Troy built this year. I still have mine. It's got some mechanical issues that needs fixed on it. The motor runs fine. It's in the drive, something in the drive. But anyway, this is not a new one. It's an older Troy built, and it's got a Predator engine on it. What a lot of people are doing this with a lot of these old Troy builts, and it works very well. Anyway, back to what I was going to talk about. Okay, here's my garden. I'm tilling. As you can see, we've got a lot of chickens out here digging, and would be destructive to a lot of gardens, or a lot of people will be afraid of what they will do to their crops or their seeds when they kill and plant. Okay, I want to show you something. Now, these chickens have been loose most of the time. I did pin them up a few times, and I'll explain that in a second. Okay, you can see we got 3 rows of potatoes all the way down, and then I got 6 rows of corn. 2 weeks later, planted 3 more. So you can see the 3 rows. I hope it shows up in the camera. All the way down, coming up. This is new right here, so it's still just popping through the ground. Now everything is coming up, nothing disturbed. It just there's a strategy with this when it comes to these chickens. And so here's what I do. I plan on getting the seed in the ground a day before it rains. And then I'll plant my seed late in the evening so it doesn't give the chickens much time to get in there and tear things up. The next day you get a good rain. Well, once you get a good rain on it, those chickens show very little interest in that soil that's now compacted down. As you can see where they're digging where I just tilled. And they're not at all over there. Well, once it gets hard and wet, the soil hardens up and it gets heavier. It's hard for the chickens to dig very deep, and it's not very enjoyable to them, so they just don't do it. They'll go around and they'll dig over here under these trees where there's a lot of leaves. They'll go over here where there's a lot of leaves and pine needles falling, and they go for that. This right here is now ideal for them to dig. So what I'm doing today, I'm planting tomatoes and peppers. But what I'll do to protect those, I'm putting cardboard in between each plant. And that cardboard, what it will do is it'll hold moisture in. And the cardboard is 29 inches long, and that'll put the spacing I want in between my plants. And it's 1 foot wide. And that'll give me enough space to still be able to till in between the rows. And that'll be a continuous stretch of cardboard all the way down with the plants between each piece of cardboard. And that'll hold in a lot of moisture, and it'll keep those chickens from digging that plant out, because it's going to be in between cardboard and they're not going to dig on top of that cardboard. So just a little tip from Homestead Hacks and Hens. We're going to get this video out. I know I've not been making any videos, and we're going to get started on this and get them going again. I do have a couple more that I've filmed and just not done it. It's bee season, so I'm trying to keep up with barnyard bee videos at the same time as Homestead Hacks and Hens. So I'm going to try to make sure that I get them both in. And another little thing I want to show here real quick is I got these super sacks that work very well for planting whatever you want to plant. What I did, I doubled them up. I took one bag and cut it in half, and you can see where I doubled it up right here. I painted this one black, and I'm going to paint this one black because they just look better. And as you can see, look at the garden onions and how big they are already. It's not been in there that long. And what I did, I put a mixture of, I put old hay and old straw, not hay, old straw on the bottom. And then I put some old rotten wood, old rotten firewood on top of that. then I put more straw, and then I put dirt from there on to the rest of the way up. And that'll act as a sponge, and it'll feed and nourish those plants as they grow. So that worked out very well. Right here, I have some old Amish style sweet potatoes. These are the white sweet potatoes, not the yams, the sweet potatoes. And hopefully they grow, because I didn't have very many. And the only thing I'm growing them here for is to get more seed for next year, and to keep everything that grows as seeds only. But anyway, just want to do that little tip. You know, this is farming and gardening with chickens, and we free range these things, and I don't like to pin them up. Now what I do also, kind of long-winded today with this, I do have an automatic door. It's called a run chicken. You see me in the video show that. So what I do is right after, also, like say I plan that evening, I'll go ahead and close the door on that chicken pen, just in case it don't rain. Because these chickens, that door opens at daylight. And if I don't get down there on time and close that door, well, they'll come out the main door. So I'll go ahead and close the main door that night. And that way, if it don't rain or something happens, they won't come out and start digging in my freshly planted corn or whatever it is I'm planting. So, and I might even keep them pinned up for that day anyway, just to get a good saturation in that soil. Turn them loose, they'll come out and they'll look around, they'll peck a little bit. They may dig just for a second, and then they'll walk off. Works very well. It's I found this out over the years, how the chickens are, and it's just all about management with these things, how they work. Okay, we're pretty much done for the day. What I did, I tilled, you can see the new dirt right here from the corn over. And then I put 4 dozen tomatoes, and then in between each tomato I put that cardboard all the way down. It's a thick cardboard, and it'll dissolve as the year goes on. It'll hold moisture. And then over here on this side I put peppers, and I run out of cardboard down there, and also I was a little bit short on pepper plants, so I'm going to have to get about a dozen more pepper plants. And hopefully I watered them down good, so hopefully the chickens won't dig them up, but I don't believe they will, because they prefer to dig down on that end. And also up here you can see the potatoes. I went ahead and tilled in between. I wasn't going to, but there was a grass coming in, and I was afraid it'd get out of control because it's supposed to start raining tomorrow. So if I didn't get it this week, it'd be next week, and those roots would dig in deep in that grass, and I didn't want to do that, so I went ahead and tilled in between the potatoes and the corn, except for this young corn. This corn's the youngest. You got 3 rows, and then about 2 weeks from those I planted this corn. It's all peaches and cream is the name of it. It's my favorite to grow. I like the stalks. I like the tall stalks. And we make fodder shocks with them at the end of the year. I've tried ambrosia. It's a good corn, but it's a really short stalk, and I really don't care for that much. So my peaches and cream's my favorite, so I grow it every year. But that's about it. Just wanted to squeeze that in, show the after part after we got done today. And the chickens, they're digging, but you know, they won't get the tomatoes for sure, and they're digging down there where there's nothing planted, and they dig in between. Once there's a plant established, they don't seem to bother it much. They don't try to dig it up. They kind of dig in between. It's not, they don't want, I guess it's troublesome to them, I guess. So they dig in between the rows. That's about it. Don't forget, click on the little bell, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching Homestead Hacks and Hens.